It's not good. It doesn't help the sector. This sort of volatility, I think is reference really spooks institutional investors. They look at this sort of movement, and it's difficult for them to sort of pin and say where's the proper value. And it's quite possible that we have a convergence of irrational exuberance and short selling squeeze that's happening at the same time. And hard to borrow. I know the trading numbers for getting the borrow has gone from 300 to as high as 800% in the last week on the stock. So I've had a long career. I've not seen those sort of numbers before, quite frankly. So, there's the challenge is this is a new sector. The world is already using these products. We're just kind of moving people from the illegal market over to the legal marketplace. The U.S. alone is probably a $70 billion market that just needs to be converted. So, a lot of people are looking at it. It gets people excited. They start moving in this direction to figure out what they can buy. And there's just not that many. And Tilray stands out because, it's Canadian, so it's, sat, or at least the listing is Canadian, so it's sat available for people to buy. And there's just not that many more options to go to. So it's become irrational.
What would you like to see happen? I mean, what would be best from your perspective for the industry? Right now, people are talking about the money that's coming in from the beverage industry, trying to kind of use this as a hedge, as Tilray's CEO said to Jim Cramer the other day. But all that comment, all that speculation is really kind of why there's a bit of a frenzy around this right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. I mean, the beverage folks are all circling. They would actually prefer if this had all gone away because the cannabis is going to eat into a lot of the beverage industry.
In the alcohol industry.
In the alcohol side. If you assume that, someone could use cannabis and drink beer at the same time, maybe they're drinking half as much beer. And so, you'll see, potential pullback. If you can infuse drinks and sell them in a bar setting or something like that, then maybe that helps and shore it up. Yeah. But even what those arrangements look like. Well, maybe.
Less beer?
Yeah, well, it seems to be the most vulnerable in the equation. You probably might stay with as much scotch as you were drinking before, but the beer numbers seem to be more open. So you see that in Constellation's move, right? They've decided to lay down the law. And what do you do with $5 billion if you're Canopy now / Constellation? There's only one place in the world to spend that, and that's in the United States.
Well, Steve, it is not legal in the United States. The legalization is coming next month in Canada. If things go the other way and the Trump administration starts cracking down on some of these states that have legalized it here, or even if there's just not a movement to nationalize it, we've already heard or seen some of these stocks trade down pretty violently when you start talking about employees who are going across the border into the United States, potentially being held up by customs. If it's not legalized in the United States, do these valuations make sense?
It's a very good question. So, the question, I think, really comes down to when. I think the Canadian experiment, which has been unfolding, and we're about to go legal federally on an adult use basis in the next month, will have the entire world watching. And, I think as you watch, if people go across the Rubicon to get to medicinal and understand that the cannabinoid pathway has effects that really haven't been researched and looks like there's a lot of benefits there, it's a simple walk across the street to determine that the rec marketplace, instead of allowing this to be, run by people that maybe aren't good people and missing all those tax dollars, doesn't make sense that you wouldn't want to get in and regulate that. And that's probably a global phenomenon. So it's just a question of timing and administration and interest in doing so.
It probably depends on the administration, too. This is a battle that's still kind of raging.
Yeah, for sure it is. For sure it is.
Steve,
so, sorry?
Oh, go ahead and make your point.
No, I just going to say, the Canadian experiment, like I said, is going to be a fascinating one to watch unfold here.